Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester, and this is your breaking news show. You know we have got some stuff to talk about, my God, we have. Wasn't live last night, so apologies first and foremost for that. I had some stuff going on, also was watching the game, so we couldn't go live. I think Sam was busy as well, so it was difficult to try and organise a show, so first and foremost, do apologise for that, but that means we've got plenty more to discuss today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about England's performance. We're going to talk about Shaw, Mainu, Marcus Rashford on social media, and a couple of individual things that I want to discuss. We're going to talk about the Mason Greenwood tug of war that's going on at the moment. It sounds a lot more derogatory than what it is. Basically, Juventus, Lazio, Dortmund, and I think there's another club kind of in the hunt for him. They're all kind of pushing the bud up. They're all pushing the bids up. So naturally, you know, that's fantastic for us. And also, there was a journalist who reported that United have cooled their interest on Zirkzee. So how true that is, I don't know. But we're here to report news, and we'll get into that towards the end. But I definitely want to start with the England stuff. I mean, you can see it on the graphic, you can see it on the screen if you're on YouTube right now. Yeah, look, England first and foremost do Southgate more to the point, doing what Southgate does. 1-0 up. Sit deep, wait on moments, right? And I can accurately describe what the majority of the nation are probably thinking right now in terms of this man that's on your screen. And tell me if I'm wrong, people. Tell me if I'm wrong, please. So, when you go from attack to defence, yeah? One, Harry Kane, there was a lot of people criticising him last night. Look, he didn't have the best performance ever. He scored, but that was like quite literally the only thing that he'd done. But he needs runners either side of him, not Foden on the left-hand side. Trent does not work in the midfield, and that's not me making him a scapegoat. That's not me saying it because he's a Liverpool player. That's me saying it because the majority as well fucking agree that this Trent experiment in the midfield is unbalanced and it does not work. You then shoehorn in Phil Foden on the left-hand side, which also doesn't work, and the balance is missing with Trippier at left-back. So, look, people will say, oh, you're only saying this because you want to talk about United players in a moment. Say whatever it is. Say whatever you want. But Luke Shaw needs to be in that team, 100%. Obviously, he's still injured at the minute. Apparently, he's still training individually, which is like, what the fuck's going on? So he might not even be available to the knockout stages. And then is that a risk in itself, bringing Luke Shaw in straight, you know, fresh into the knockouts when he's not even had a game? They won't even be like a, you know, a warm-up game or anything. So I think that's interesting what his fitness is going to be like. I think if you want to be ruthless, and people will absolutely go mad at me for this, drop Phil Foden, because he isn't working. We had the same argument, right? We had the same argument in the golden generation. There was playing Paul Scholes on the left-hand side. Now, slightly different, granted, because Phil Foden is able to play in the majority of attacking areas. But when you want that left-hand side is so null and void because Foden keeps dropping and dropping, and then Trippier can't really overlap because he's right-footed. So it's just dead. It's completely dead. You need a winger who is going to run at the defenders and someone who's speedy. So when Kane drops deep, you've got that inverted run in behind like a Marcus Rashford would do. And I'm going to get onto Marcus Rashford in a moment. But if you're telling me Luke Shaw coming into that team, Mainu or Wharton, and this isn't just United bias, by the way, one of them two, I don't care who it is, bring them into the midfield because they are a more complete midfielder. You know, when you look at Trent, technical ability, one of the best in the league. You know, his crossing, his passing, phenomenal. And you see that in stints at times. But when you're talking about a pure midfielder who's receiving it, you know, drop on the shoulder, has the spatial awareness that's around him, he just isn't an actual midfielder. So he just doesn't fit. So play Wharton there or play Mainu. Because as soon as you get into the big games, when you're playing Trent Alexander in midfield, you're going to get slapped. I'm telling you right now. So Shaw needs to be at left back. I'd bring Gordon in on the left-hand side. I'd put Mainu or Wharton in the midfield. And you will see a much more balanced thing. And then if you need to bring Foden on, if Bellingham looks a little bit tired or you want to drop Bellingham back and put Foden in the 10, then do it. People will criticise it. People will say you're dropping Foden, the Premier League's best player of the season. I don't care. Put Foden in the 10 and drop Bellingham then. You know, just make it more balanced because it isn't working. Denmark, with a better team than us yesterday, played better football, looked well more balanced, and they got absolute superstars in their team. No, it's because they're a balanced team. They have that cohesion, and they have that chemistry, and they play well together. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just shoehorn it for the sake of it. I think we all need to stop panicking. We're clearly trailing tactics, hopefully back to top form. Trent cannot play midfield. He does not have the time to make them passes. Play Watkins, Palmer, and Cobby. Yeah, how on earth is Cole Palmer? I saw a picture of Cole Palmer and Cobby Main, who sat on the bench yesterday. I'm like, how have these not got on? How are you putting Jared Bowen? I was going to say Jared Branthwaite then. Jared Bowen and Gallagher over Mainu and Palmer. Are you smoking crack? What on earth is going on there? Over Palmer and Mainu. Do you even watch football? Gallagher is just an industrious runner. He's okay. He's all right. But he's a typical Southgate player. Typical Southgate player. When I saw that yesterday, I was like, this guy, man, this guy does not know football whatsoever. Cole Palmer's been phenomenal for Chelsea. Phenomenal. And you bring on Bowen, who is done all right when he's come on the right-hand side. Palmer can play the right-hand side. He plays there for Chelsea. You know, it's just, he's baffling. He's absolutely baffling. And you know what, right? I'll get into United chat in a moment, I promise you. But if you look at Southgate's records against the top teams, yeah? So we beat Germany 2-0 in the Euros, which everyone mentions all the time whenever you speak about Southgate. That Germany team was dog shit. Absolutely dog shit. That was why we beat them. They weren't amazing. And Thomas Muller missed a massive chance as well. And then there's the 2-1 win, I think, against Belgium in the Nations League, which people go on about as well. But we've lost twice to Belgium, 2-0 and 2-1 in the same competition. In the World Cup 2018 third place playoff, we lost to him. We lost to Croatia in the semi-final after going 1-0 up and sitting back again. We lost to an average Italy side in the final after going 1-0 up again. And then we lost to France in the quarter-final, 2-1 in a pretty even game, and we still lost that. And then you go 1-0 up against Denmark in a group stage game. You sit back, Denmark get back into the game. You know, and it's the same thing. You look at the Serbia game. Serbia are toothless up top. It took them to like the 95th minute to score against Slovenia with a Jovic header. Yeah. They're toothless up top. Had they had a bit more, you know, composure in the final third and a bit more of a, you know, if Tadic weren't 70, basically, they probably would have scored because the second half, they was all over us. So this tactic of Southgate is the type of guy to clap when the plane lands. That's what it reminds me of. You know what I mean? The type of guy to make sure he's got E45, paracetamol, plasters, everything in his first aid bag before he goes on holiday. And he won't go on holiday until everything's in the bag. Do you know what I'm saying? The type of guy to wear 2 condoms is my gist, is what I'm saying. It's just, I just have no faith in this guy whatsoever to win a tournament with us. I really, really don't. And it was a stat, so I'm gonna kind of bring it back to United a little bit. So there's a quick stat on this. So since 1996, last night's game against Denmark was England's first game at a major tournament to not feature a single Man United player since the Euros 96 semi-final against Germany, ending a run of 56 consecutive games with a Man United player featuring in the side. And I'm going to talk about Rashford in a minute in terms of bits on social media and stuff. But, right, I am the first one to admit, and I am almost Rashford's biggest critic in terms of the season just gone. Because when you hit the heights you did of the one before, you know, when he's banging in 30 goals and you drop off like you do, there's concerns. 100% agree. And when I didn't see him in the team, I wasn't surprised. I said, yeah, you know what, fair enough. But, if you are going to play how you played yesterday, you're going to sit deep and compact. Kane's going to drop to feet and there's no runners. Why not take Marcus Rashford? Because that's the system he's been playing under Ollie, but pretty much at times, you know, towards the latter end of the season at United last season, he was playing that kind of role. Why not take him? You know what I mean? Like, even though I know you've got Eze on the bench and you've got Gordon, but fucking Gordon didn't even get on yesterday. That's the surprising thing. I'm like, yeah, we needed runners on a counter-attack. It's just, I find it so, am I the only one? I feel like I'm going insane here. I mean, a lot of people are mega, mega frustrated with the way that went yesterday. Some people in the chat might not be England fans. You might be from America, or you might be from, you know, somewhere in Europe or the other side of the world. But even anyone who isn't an England fan can see these problems. Every single person who knows football, even a little bit, can see this. It's ridiculous. Because the manager is clueless. He has no style of play. Gallagher and Bowden before. Gordon is a joke. Exactly. Can't play Foden and Bellingham together. I agree. I'm looking at this team and I'm like, if you even had a half a competent coach, right? And people, again, may grill me for this. Even if you had Graham Potter in charge of this team, I believe he would win the Euros. Because if you watch the way he plays, the way his kind of rotational game, he can switch. He's very flexible tactically. He's great tactically, Potter. Now, if he's talking about in terms of trophies that he's won like a Swedish Cup. I don't think, he's not won a significant amount, but Southgate have been relegated with fucking, Middlesbrough. So what difference does that make? I think even he could, because he's a competent manager. He appreciates balance and flexibility and rotation. That team has no rotation whatsoever. And I think you can see the England players are hindered by this. They're hindered by it. You see him, like when you see Walker's interview after the game yesterday. If you watch it, you're like, oh, this guy it looks like he just wants to go, yeah, manager got it wrong, set us up completely wrong. You should be stepping on teams next with the players that you've got. Foden, Bellingham, Kane, Saka are all arguably world class. Well, Bellingham's world class. I'd say they're all world class, in my opinion. People might say about Saka he's not. I think he is. I think he's quality. Declan Rice, world class. One of the best midfielders. Playing out of position in that sense. Trent has his moments when he's in a certain system, when he's in Liverpool's system where they have like a rotational thing, especially when Henderson was there and he would kind of cover it right back and Trent would bomb on, Salah would cut inside and then he'd be able to do what he does. But yeah, I'm lost with this team, man. Everything was predictable down the right through Saka missing Greenwood. I don't think Saka's been bad though. I think he's been okay. Look, no one had an amazing game yesterday. Really, no one. I thought Gay, to be fair, was decent. Walker had his moments, but again, it's just, you're putting him in a system that the shackles are on. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like we need to get Ollie in on a fucking temporary contract and just let's do that. Let's get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not got a job. Bring him in. You look at his record at United, the 12 in a row or something. Let the shackles off. I feel like we need to do that. Let's just do that. Can we do it halfway through a tournament? Bring Ollie in. Bring the vibes, get him playing, take the shackles off, and let him just fucking run with it. Bellingham, Kane, whoever, and see what happens. Because you ain't winning a tournament like this. I'm telling you, you're not winning a tournament. Not a chance, in my opinion. Right, let's see what everyone's saying in the chat then. Make sure you smash a like in the video if you can, if you are in a good mood. Or if you're feeling in a good mood, please do smash that like button. Right, what are we saying? United District, and I was saying we're looking at a striker closer to 17 million. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. It's Friday already, certainly is, Sean. We are signing Zirkzee and Brandthwaite, don't worry. Also pretty optimistic we'll sign João Neves with the right departures to fund a structured deal. Highly doubt we'll get a lease, though. I don't know where all this stuff's coming from about Neves. I've not seen anything on that, but I'll look into it in a minute. Southgate, big mistake for Rashford. Edgar saying I can't even fucking speak. I would love to play oh my God, why can't I speak? I would play Foden, the 10, Bellingham, Rice, deep, or Mainu, Rice and Bellingham. I can't see Bellingham dropping deep. Can't. And Bellingham's your best player. You've got to keep him in the same position, just in my opinion. I'm not some riddled, clapped out banger. Someone put stories from the fiction writer Samuel Luckhurst. Liam Jones saying, loving the content. Only good thing about yesterday was Ineos surely will never consider Southgate after that debacle. Well, that's another concerning things as well, isn't it? Ineos thought this guy was the one to come in and guide United back to the top. This guy, who's got almost a world-class player in probably about 5 or 6 world-class players in that team. And he's drawing against Denmark and scraping a 1-0 against Serbia. And he's the answer. You wanna get him in charge of United? Nah, no chance, mate. Thank you, Sam, for mentioning that as well. Oh my God, I haven't even talked about that. Of course, everyone saw it, but just for anyone who hasn't seen it, has anyone seen the Kelvin Phillips quote? Has anyone seen that? Please tell me you have, because that is absolutely outrageous. We haven't found a Kelvin Phillips replacement. What? What do you mean? He's been awful for fucking 2-3 years. 2-3 years. He's been absolutely terrible. Giving goals away at West Ham and stuff. Completely fell off. He did get a fucking sniff at Man City. And his reasons for that. Pep openly criticised him multiple times. Multiple times. Phillips' quote is disgusting. Wharton and Mainu are a level above in that role. Exactly. Has anyone watched Wharton for Crystal Palace? I'm not even going to make this about Mainu. I obviously love Kobbie Mainu. He's a United boy. I'd love him to play in the midfield. But even watch Adam Wharton at Palace. He's better. He is better. Granted, not got as much experience, but when are they ever going to get experience if you're not just going to give them an opportunity in the midfield? That experiment with Trent hasn't worked. You've got a final group stage game. Go a little bit risky. Please, for the love of God. Bring in one of those kids, because whenever they've been put into the fire, they've put it out immediately. Just take a chance on Cobby, you know, or Wharton, either way. I don't think Southgate do that. Like I say, he's the type of guy to wear 2 condoms. Southgate, it really is. Bit graphic for a 12 o'clock show, but you've got to say what's in your heart, haven't you? They will never make me hate you, Southgate. Well, you're one of the most loyal people I've ever heard. I'm a Blackburn season ticket holder, and Wharton is the best we produce. Wharton is top. He's mustard, mate. He is. He's a top player. And if people are seriously going to sit there and tell me none of them two should get an opportunity over Trent after the 2 games that we've just watched, I don't know what you're watching. I really, really don't. All right, I want to move the conversation slightly onto Marcus Rashford, because obviously he's been dropped for England. I mentioned before about if we're going to play how we are, then maybe he should have gone just off of that bit of that threat in behind and obviously experience as well. But there was a couple of things put out. So his brother put something on social media yesterday on Instagram saying it's hard to sit and watch when you honestly believe your man can make the difference. His brother's always piping up. I'm like, do you really need to? What do people ever gain from social media? It just never seems to, you know, get a good reaction out of it. But obviously his brother's going to speak how he feels. You know, some say that as, you know, it is what it is. And then I saw like a weird video of Meeks, so a Manchester rapper called Meeks, for anyone who's not familiar with him, and Rashford in a car, like rapping to his music, and he's like videoing him, and Rashford just looks like mad awkward in it. He's just like doing this. It's I don't know. It's just a bizarre situation. And look, I think that the video in itself would, first and foremost, and I do not mean to sound like a boomer when I'm 29 years old, so I don't mean to sound like a boomer when I say this. People will go in at me this, but would you ever see Bruno, Casemiro, Lisandro, Andre Onana, any of these kind of players doing that? They wouldn't. It's just, I don't know. I feel like he spends too much time. Again, I sound like such a fucking Victorian when I say this, but I feel like he spends too much time on social media. I'm seeing him way too much. And he cares what people think about on social media way too much. His head's, for me, and I'm sure the majority of United fans would agree, his head doesn't seem like it's in the right place. I know he's been putting stuff out like, I'm working hard, I'm training or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think the company and the people that you surround yourself with affect your career choices. You listen to Gary Neville or Kieran Trippier talk about this, and they say, like, one of the best decisions I ever made was moving from here to here, because then I could fully focus. I'm not being, you know, it's not distractions from famous celebrities and rappers and all these kind of guys who are, you know, just taken away from what you're purely focused on. I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself, but if a distraction creeps in a little bit at this high level of football, your performances can dip instantly. Did we really want him in Man United? Ooh, Rashford. Or Southgate you're on about. I'm not sure who you alluded to there. I was sitting watching the game and I said to myself, watch him bring on Conor Gallagher to fix this. He must have been on the wind-up when he said that, says Liam. Fuck it. Yeah, he must have watched that back and like, yeah, that didn't go down very well at all. Now, people, just to go back a little bit to the Phillips thing, I understand a little bit what he was saying in terms of, so when we played at the Euros 4 years ago, him and Rice was quite a good blend and the balance was good, but that was 4 years ago. If you haven't found a replacement by now, what on earth are you doing? What are you getting paid for? You're supposed to bleed these youngsters through. You know, Kobbie Mainoo, Wharton, these kids. You're making a run for your own back, Gareth. I don't know what to tell you, mate. Don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Marcus Rashford, I don't know. I feel like I'm hoping he has a good season. I can't see us selling him. I don't think anyone's going to come in for him. I think his wages are too much. So, yeah, we'll just have to see how he cracks on next season. And I hope he comes back to the level that he was in Erik Ten Hag's first season. Because Ten Hag isn't going now. Usually Rashford, good season, second season, falls off the cliff, manager gets sacked, rinse and repeat. Past 5-6 years that's happened. Now there's a change. Now there's a new structure above. Now the manager's staying. You know, you don't get an easy, new manager about to come, oh, I like playing under this guy. Oh, I found my form again. Yeah, I'm really happy now. None of that. It's right now it's time to perform. The spotlight is on you. The spotlight is on you. You know? So, let's see if you can do it. Now, on to another British player, Mason Greenwood. I'll get into it in a minute. Juventus have overtaken Lazio in the race to sign Mason Greenwood, apparently. That's coming from Italian Sports. Now, I have absolutely given up on whoever's going to sign this fucking player. I have no idea. No, I honestly sit here and say I have no idea what's going to happen. Because one day it's Valencia with favourites. And Greenwood wants to go back to Spain. He's happy there and blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute, Juventus are favourites. They're offering more money. And like, okay, sweet. And then Lazio are favourites. They're offering 30 mil and add-ons. And now Juventus have come back and saying, actually, we'll pay 30 mil and add-ons as well. And we'll offer him 100k a week. So, I don't know. Just pay the money and get him off our books and send all of the fanboys that are on social media along with him as well. And just fucking dust your hand with it. That is my advice to that one. And we're going to swiftly move on to another striker because I spent so much time talking about Mason Greenwood. I'm just completely done with that whole situation. So, Joshua Zirkzee, let's talk about the future, not the past. The rumours surrounding Joshua Zirkzee and Manchester United are currently being blown out of proportion. They are more likely to target strikers in the range of 12 to 16 million pounds. That's according to C. Moth Izel, whoever the fuck that guy. I mean, that literally could have been someone in Italy on the laptop in a Starbucks. I checked his following. He's followed by Romano and a couple of others. Whether that means he's credible or not, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard this journalist's name before. So, in fact, let me get the journalist up and get actual specifics and see who it is. CM Officiel. Yeah, right. Christopher Mikel. So he's a writer for sport. I think German journalist putting that. So, I don't know. Take that for what you will. Probably nonsense. I mean, we saw the Telegraph yesterday reporting that we're going to trigger that release clause, 34 million quid, I think it is. So I would tend to believe the Telegraph. James Ducker and the guys over there do really, really good work, and I would tend to trust them a lot more. These are the kind of guys who, sit in press conferences. They have really good ties into Manchester United, and the Telegraph don't usually put out nonsense for the majority of, from what I read anyway. And also, you don't trigger a release clause without speaking to the individuals who are in on that deal. So I don't know. I can't remember Zirkzee's agent. I think it's Kia something, the player himself, and obviously the club. So they wouldn't think about triggering a release clause had they not done their kind of due diligence, etc. See if the player wants to come, see if the agent's happy. Will he take an £8 million commission fee, for example? And the club happy to pay this release. Well, they don't get a say, really. The club can't really say anything in terms of Bologna. So, yeah, happy. Waiting for this news to be announced. I think within the next couple of days, we'll probably get something on Zirkzee. And when we do, guess what? For all the members, you know what? We'll just drop it. I'll be kind. We'll drop it for all the viewers. So, when if the news gets announced, we think it is going to with Zirkzee in the next couple of days. We've got an in-depth video on him, what type of striker he is, his whole background from his youth to Anderlecht to Bayern Munich to his time with Thiago Motta, how he's developed under him, and then the future. We've got a full video, bang, 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 on every single bit of that. So make sure you subscribe to Real Reds Talk. Make sure you smash a like on the video. And I'll tell you what, for the last 5 minutes, let's do a bit of a Q&A. Anything you want to discuss, any international games, the Euros, football in general, your favourite biscuit, and what you're having for tea. Whatever it is, get the questions in and we'll all talk about it right now for the next 6 minutes, let's say. Because we've got until 1:30, so 5-6 minutes. Thoughts on Man United centre-back options? Well, it seems like Everton are being a little bit stubborn on Bran Flakes. They want 70 mil. We've put in 30. I think we're willing to meet in the middle, but only if Everton drop their demands. So if Everton don't drop their demands, they'll move on to a next centre-back target, and they could start negotiating with Lenny Yoro. Or there could be a couple others as well that we've been linked with. Debo can't happen because the same club situation, which we've spoken about on this channel before. Maybe they'll pivot and go for something a little bit different. I don't know. But yeah, Bran Flakes, not as imminent as we first initially thought, due to Everton being very stubborn. But again, I don't know. From what I've read and what I listened to from journalists around Everton and the Athletic and stuff, they've said their PSR situation isn't as bad as everyone's making out. So they might not actually need to sell. They might be happy keeping him. So if that is the case, seems like a pretty difficult deal to do. Who would you get to replace Southgate? Me granddad. That's who I'd get. Me granddad. Because anyone. In all honesty, people might think this is stupid. He's managing Fenerbahce now. But Jose Mourinho knows how to get the job over the line. I don't know why. I think international football, the setup, how he deals with characters. I think in a tournament setting, he would win. I think he would win a Euros or a World Cup with England. And people say he's past it. That's fine. You want to believe that? That's absolutely fine. But I think him coming into the England setup, I think he could win. Genuinely believe that. I'm not even just trolling. I genuinely believe that. Okay, so when I said to you the other night on Twitter, Ornstein had denied he said anything about Zirkzee, I was then DM'd by a big account who said it wasn't Ornstein who told him Zirkzee was true. Friday, Zoot and pint on the go, honey barbecue ribs and fries on the way. Sean lives that good life in Bangkok, I'm telling you, mate. Sean, are you rich? I feel not because you're having a Zoot and honey barbecue ribs. I mean, I'm not suggesting that's why you're rich, but it just seems like you live quite a nice lifestyle. So yeah, are we linked to any left backs or midfielders at the moment? Left back situation. Kirkes was the only one I've seen at left back, and it's very quiet on that. I feel like that's one that'll be done towards the end of the window, like a Bayern Deer or an Amrabat, most likely. Drop Bramflakes, see what happens closer to the end of June. Go for Yoro and Inacio and just get them done. I'm not convinced on Inacio personally. I like Lenny Yoro. Inacio's one of the best in Europe in terms of ball playing ability, but if you talk about a pure defender, if he'd suit the Premier League and his price, I personally don't think he'd be any good. Poch for England job would be good. Yeah, Poch. Yeah, I could see that as well. And he also likes... I'll tell you what, if Poch was in charge of this team, he'd have Wharton or Mainu in the midfield, 100%. And Palmer would probably be playing as well, wouldn't he? So, yeah. Mourinho's one of the best to have when it comes to knockout tournaments. I wouldn't say rich, but I'm comfortable and like to enjoy myself. Well, that's what we love to hear, Sean. If you're happy, I'm happy. Do you agree with Ten Hag staying? Yes, I do. I do. I don't agree with how he was dealing with it publicly and how Ineos kind of had him on the back burner for 2 weeks whilst he was on holiday. But I'm glad he's staying. I'm happy. Yeah, I couldn't hide that. After, I know it was an awful season. We finished 8th and everyone knows the whole crap with the injuries and stuff like that. Beating Man City in the final, doing what he did, it's hard to, emotionally at the time, it's hard to go against that. For me personally, how many signings do you think we'll make and who? If I was to make a strategic guess, if there is such thing, I think we will get the Bramflakes deal over the line, probably 50 plus 10 in add-ons. I reckon that'll probably happen. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about João Neves and people talking about that. I can't see it personally. I think it's way too pricey. And United ain't going to pay that. So I don't think that's going to happen. I would love him. I think he's a fantastic player, but I don't think it's going to happen. So Bramflakes at the back. And we probably pay Zirkzee's release clause. And we'll get another centre-back in as well. Who that'll be, I'm not sure. It could be a bit of an an outfield kind of option. And then left-back, again, I don't think... It could be Kirkes from Bournemouth. But if they want 30, 40 mil, again, I think they'll go kind of more towards the Malacia route, 15, 20 mil. Midfield is an interesting one. That's the only one I can sit on and I can say, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know midfielders, who they're going to go for. Because you look at the options out there that we've been linked with. João Neves has a €100 million release clause. So that is a difficult deal to do. Although he probably wants to come to United. Has a great relationship with Bruno. Also have a video on João Neves as well. So if no one's seen that, check that out. Good video. And then Hjumland, who Sam's a big fan of. He also has an 80 million either euro or pound release clause. So that deal ain't happening. And then you have like Fofana at Monaco, who's 25 mil. Can play both roles as 6 and 8, but he's not a pure 6. I think United need a pure 6, like a Rodri or a Busquets or a Mascherano or someone like that who's a ball winner and physical. I think that'd be perfect alongside Kobe Mainu. But the market for them at the moment, it's not mega. It's not massive. Amadou Onana's been mentioned, but I don't think United are going to get 2 players from Everton in the same window. That's like a flashback. Do you remember when we tried getting Leighton Baines and Fellaini in the same window? So I can't see United doing that. I think it'll be expensive as well because Everton paid 50 mil for him. So what are they going to want from us? It's like the Cunha situation with Wolves. If they want to sell him, they bought him for 40. He's had a good season. They're going to at least want 60, aren't they? So, yeah. It's a lot of it's. Look at any player in Europe with a release clause at the moment. I mean, we might even sign another like kind of left field option in like Adrian Rabiot. You know, his contract's coming up. Depending on what wages he wants, will United go and do a deal like that? You know, Eric Ten Hag likes him, so that could be something that we go and work. And again, he's not a pure six. He works well as like the left, like a left 8 in that sense, but offers something different. So yeah, that could be the case. Yeah. Ruben Neves would have been ideal. I do like Ruben Neves as well, but he's in Saudi at the moment, isn't he? Making the big bucks and seems relatively happy over there. Not many left-backs around, but I reckon Cucurella would be worth monitoring. Cucurella's an interesting one. He seems a very conflicting player. Some people really like him, some people really don't. I think he's a bit flaky defensively. I think he's good on the ball going forward. Notoriously, you had Pep Guardiola, who wanted him as well, didn't you, at Brighton? So, in a certain system, yeah. I just don't think he'd suit United. For me. But, yeah. Bro's not even been to Old Trafford. All right. Why is he a thing on TikTok, yeah? Where, I don't know, it's like people go on to lives and then they'll put, like, have you even been to Old Trafford? Or, like, their whole sole focus and thing is, like, have you even been to the stadium? There is quite literally videos and pictures of me in Old Trafford everywhere. So, I just don't know. I never know what to say to these people. Have you even been, bro? I live 5 minutes down the fucking road from Old Trafford. Old Trafford, I could probably see it from my window if I stood up tall enough. Jesus Christ, man. People, even if I was an international fan, why does it fucking matter? Like, people support what you want. If you want to support fucking Boston Celtics or whatever they're called, then do it. You know what I mean? People like sport. If you're not a season ticket holder, then don't talk. Oh, my God. So, yeah. So, the other millions and millions of fans who are United fans, if you don't have a season ticket, you can't talk, basically. You can't have an opinion on football. You can't watch football because Zach in TikTok has decided. So, sorry, everyone. We'll shut the show down. We'll stop talking about it. We'll stop having an opinion because Zach on TikTok doesn't want to talk to anyone unless they're a season ticket holder. But he's still paying attention in the live and commenting. Bizarre. The accent is a giveaway, a little bit of a giveaway, isn't it, Liam? I'd probably say, yeah. I'd probably say. Amrabat's very smart business. Amrabat, completely forgot about him. Kingsman saying, why give him time? Because it's just annoying, isn't it? I just don't like, yeah. On the left back, we need to buy Kirkes from Hungary. I like Kirkes. I'm a fan of Kirkes. TikTok strikes again. Honestly, people just wake up on... I'd love to know... Get them all up in a room, put them in some kind of Squid Game challenge. All the idiots on TikTok who spend about 6 hours of the day going through lives and reflecting how much they hate themselves on other people and commenting on the things. Say, you know what, I'm such an angry, bitter man. I'm going to go comment on a load of people's and just say, oh, yeah, have you even been to Old Trafford? Oh, what? This guy don't know ball. This guy don't know that. Like, come on. Look at yourself in the mirror, mate. Look, you know. Jesus. It's just a reflection of their own insecurities, people. If you want to go down the philosophical line, that's all it is. So, have a break, Zach. Oh, he's put me mum in the chat. Oh, wow. I'm done. He's roasted me. He's done. he's roasting me. He's put me mum in the chat. Right, Zach's clearly hurt. So, Zach, you go and Sudi Creme your backside, mate, because I've just absolutely piped you. And, yeah, we'll all enjoy the rest of the show. If anyone else got further questions for the past 2 minutes that's not Zach-related, then I'll happily discuss them. But apart from that, I hope you all have an amazing day. Please do leave a like on the video as well. And, yeah, how are we all doing? I consider Cucurella simply because of my love for Sideshow Bob. All right. I'm not sure that's the reason to sign a player, but if you want to go down with that, that's absolutely fine. Have we got any other news breaking just before I head off? Because I don't want to leave y'all hanging if there's something breaking. Let's have a look. No, nothing out at the moment. Oh, there's something on. United have been given full planning permission for the 50 mil summer revamp of Carrington. Lovely. That's great news. I'd rather end the show on a positive, to be honest. Let them crack on, mate. Those guys just make me feel better about who I am and the direction I'm going in life. Exactly. And we'll pin that comment, Jay. And what a perfect way to end the show. Right. Appreciate every single one of you. Subscribe to Real Reds Talk. We are currently on 5,590. That goes for you as well, Zach. If you want to subscribe, mate, hop on it. Yeah, and smash that like with 10 subscribers or 5,600. So, yeah. Would really appreciate that. If you're watching this live, I'll watch this later on. And we'll see you guys later on tonight. We're going to do a show probably between the, between the 5 o'clock game and the 8 o'clock game. So we'll do a show somewhere in between that for you guys. So yeah. Sounds like you're suffering from bastard hay fever as well. Mate, I've got it so bad at the moment. So bad. I went for like an interview today and I had to say to him, I've not got flu or I've not got a cold or anything. It's literally all up there and all around there has been blocked for pretty much for about 2 months. So yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Liam, Sean, Jay, Shreyas, everyone else in the chat. Sorry if I missed out your name. And everyone in TikTok, you're all a bunch of legends. See you on the show tonight.